Okay, Dan, so here's your before and after from the down the line view, right? So you can see how the pressure's, building up under your trail foot there by the pressure map above it, right? And then you just kind of hang on your, you start to move the pressure back into your left foot just before you get up to the top, but then, as you start down, the pressure actually moves back onto your back foot, right? So we figured that out from looking at it from face on, that your head is moving laterally over your back foot, right? So we'll put that down to that. But what we're really looking at was, as soon as we put the ball between your arms, how your elbows are going to squeeze together a little bit more, right? It definitely is going to take the long across the line sort of look out the backswing, right? And then what we're really working on was getting that right arm, keeping that right arm, like if I stop you maybe there, keeping that right arm more folded as we come down. There you go. Right, keeping that right arm more folded as we come down. This is also, extending this right arm too early on the downswing, and we'll talk about it from the face on in a second. But extending that right arm too soon coming down is not only going to uncock your left wrist, right? It's also going to cause you to come up and out your posture, because this is where your brain kicks in, like your subconscious. It's like, well, if the club head is getting too low too soon, my natural reaction is to kind of move back up out the way to kind of give myself some room, right? So one thing causes the other thing. But we'll look at that more from the face on in a second. But then you get to impact. We want to be clearing out the way more at impact, right? So as soon as that right arm stays folded and doesn't really extend until after the shot, so there's impact, and you can see just how much more you've cleared your shoulders and your hips. And then the right arm doesn't extend fully until about there. Because you've turned more, that club's going to come out a lot lower. Right. Whereas before, we're not quite turning as much as what we'd want. And then you're just right pretty much on the limit of what's acceptable there, right, with regards to the plane.
Right.
Right. Any higher through the shoulder, above the shoulder, it's snap hook. You're going to be snap hooking it all the time, right? Big pushes and snap hooks, right? So that's much better just looking at it from that angle, right? So let's do one from face on.